Hey folks, RPG a Day 2019. Supposed to start on August 1st, but I was at Indianapolis at Gen Con without any real proper time and facilities to record. Well, anyway, the keyword for the first is first. To me, that means my first experience with an RPG. Not only the first system, but my first game. All that kind of stuff ties together. And I know I've talked about this in some of my other videos, but my first role playing experience was at my brother's house. My friend Brett and I were spending a weekend with him, and he was teaching us advanced Dungeons and Dragons. So this would have been 1979, I believe. And while we kind of understood things like strength and that the higher numbers were better than lower numbers, we had no clue what we were doing. He told us to roll stats, so we rolled our stats and pick a class and that kind of stuff. And the two of us went off on our adventure. There was a dungeon just outside of town we went to, and we went and I want to say it was actually inside the dungeon. Our first encounter was with wolves. I don't remember how many. I want to guess it was probably two. But my character was killed. The wolves killed him. And so my buddy Brett and his character, they went back to town, and I rolled up a new character, and we went back out to the dungeon. And we ran into wolves again, and the wolves killed me again. A lot of people these days would say that would put a bad taste in somebody's mouth, a new player's mouth, right? But it was this whole concept of simulating medieval combat that just tickled my fancy. This I was biting onto this hard. I loved this thing, whatever this new thing was. I wanted to do. Um, Subsequently to that, I went home and bought the basic set. It was a blue book. I don't remember if it was a blue box or not, but it was one of the basic sets. And okay, side story. Levels 1 to 3, cool, no problem with that. Monsters, stats, all that kind of cool things. We were biting into this, but then I saw that every weapon did a d6 of damage, unless you were an elf or a dwarf. Dwarfs did a d8 and elves did a d10, and that kind of turned me off on D&D Basic. So eventually, we just kind of put that aside. Went all in and bought the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons books and that kind of stuff. My brother would come up and run for us on occasion, and of course we did our own stuff, but we were just dorky teenagers. We all kinds of all this stuff. Stories for another day. Anyway, day one, happy gaming.